We're on Antiga Shipyard for game number 2. And that was my Mr. Bitter impression. We're here for game number 2. And we're here for game number 2
not
on
bad.
Antiga Shipyard. Of course, I love
Let's go
Ben.
straight
I've
away
been
into
spending
the
so
game.
much time with Ben, and he's just such a great guy. I like him a lot. But I also like PuMa. We spent the weekend with him. He's a really funny guy. Now, ClouD, he played the first 15 minutes of that game very well on Shire Temple. Agree or disagree?
Yes.
Okay, and he had that advantage going to the mid-game. Agree or disagree? Said yes. Okay.
Yes,
so,
yes, yes.
As we get ready to go into game number 2, Andre, besides sensor towers, do you think any other moves that ClouD has to fix for game number 2?
Nope.
So just reading his opponent's movements was...
Well, I mean, ClouD was in a huge advantage. I don't think a lot of people would disagree with that. Taking center control and having the Marine advantage at that current state.
Yeah,
you know, after the first
too.
trade. Having the upgrade advantage with killing that engineering bait, that was huge.
That was monumental.
That was monumental.
That was prodigious.
It was.
And I read that without the sheet.
I know.
Wow.
It was paramount.
It is. It was paramount. It was monstrous. Guys, in the bottom left, we have ClouD from Team Alternate Attack, ATN. And
but seriously, it was like ClouD was
yeah,
ahead.
he was.
I mean, I wouldn't say he was like
decisive.
so far ahead he couldn't lose, obviously.
No, but he had a decisive advantage.
It was
like,
his game to lose at that point.
It was.
I really felt like he could have just kept his opponent. Here's another way to do it: keep your opponent on 4 base.
If it was tennis, it was deuce, and ClouD had the advantage.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to do a follow-up analogy.
That's it. I'm not going.
I thought you were gonna. You can do hockey, shootout, maybe a soccer shootout.
If that was soccer, he was up 3-1. Oh, that's pretty harsh, actually. If that was soccer,
that best they can tie.
If that was soccer in youth 6, he was up 3-1.
I have no idea.
I don't know
what youth 6 is. It's okay, Andre.
6-year-olds playing.
Oh, okay. Because everyone's a winner. Everyone's a winner. I got you. No worries, man. Andre, I know you think about 6-year-olds all the time. Guys, we have both players.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
We have both players now starting to deviate builds in a little bit. PuMa has his first refinery. ClouD doesn't have anything at this point. He's going to go for a really fast expansion. Now, Antiga Shipyards is ClouD's choice. Another map that can actually divide pretty easily, but the hard thing is defending exterior expansions, especially past 3 base. Drops and whatnot get really big, so sensor towers are key. Agree or disagree?
Agree. I think sensor towers are so important in every matchup. They should be utilized. It's like saying a warp prism should be used every single game. It's just theoretically it should. But I guess
I think SCV should be in every TVT. I can make that assumption.
Well, I mean that's like it's facilitated in the game. Sensor towers aren't. Come on, get with it, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay, that's what I know what you mean. But sensor towers, they play a very key thing. And you know what? You have the flexibility to do it too, because a lot of times in that build, you can see how rampant gas count is. And of course, everyone says, you know, the gas counts for later when they do for the epic switches to battle cruisers, Ravens, Vikings, whatever you want to call it, into late game TVT. But a couple sensor towers saves you the heartache of having to rebuild your base, lose workers, you know, even lose your economy completely. So I think it's really key. So PuMa has shown he's got the smarts and the wits to really make a strong comeback. For now, he's staying on 1 base. Gonna go for classic 1-1-1. Now, last time we were on this map, we saw Braddock go up against 1-1-1 and completely migrate to a separate part of the base. And awesome. On this map, it's a little bit harder to do it. From these positions that ClouD's in, but
he could still do it though.
He could still do it.
He could still do it. PuMa won't fall victim to that again, I don't think. Yeah, he won't because he's going for a command center directly after this Banshee. Now he's going Cloak Banshee, and we have the very standard engineering bay timing at 6 minutes. This is normal because around 7 minutes the Banshee actually gets into your base. You can see 6:30. Banshee is on its way over. And we see the turrets finish just in time, if they actually be made. They're not. ClouD is playing this a little bit too greedy. because he doesn't have any scouts on his opponent.
Yeah, and I think at this point, ClouD, he's trusting his opponent a little bit too much, because...
Well, he's trying to play super greedy.
I know.
That's all.
That's
because the Marines are indicative of you know, some sort of Banshee possibility.
And look at that, scan from PuMa, and he sees everything. And when he sees 3 racks and an engineering bay, PuMa knows exactly the way ClouD opens.
Yep, and there it is. The cloak is initiated. And look at that, ClouD went stim. So, oh no, he went combat shields already. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so at this point, ClouD, I think ClouD is, look at this, he's trying to see if he can deal with that Banshee, but, another scan trying to see if he can pick it off, but PuMa, he's been doing a pretty good job harassing thus far, but ClouD's also been a good job holding off. How much damage does PuMa really need to do here?
He's already done plenty of damage. 10 workers are killed. That's more than enough. I don't know actually the exact SCV amount, but 10 seems to be an alarming number for this period in time. Let's look at the income tab, 30 to 29. The worker advantage obviously going to PuMa, but the big thing is that PuMa has not only like great Banshee continued harassment, but he also has units in key locations. Marines and siege tanks are in the middle of the map that allows him to do like a pseudo 1-1-1. It is like a 2-base 1-1-1, but still he's able to. Banshee.
Nah, Banshee's okay. PuMa's showing good Banshee control this time, unlike when he played against Braddock, but keeping those Banshees alive will prove to be... It pays off a lot, especially if PuMa goes for any kind of follow-up push. But for now, he's just going to macro off here, killing off enough workers, like you said, to really get that advantage. That said, the big thing is also PuMa has center control, which is really key.
Yes.
When he gets siege mode, he is going to be able to really force his way in here. Antiga Shipyards, you can do some pretty funky things with this small little ledge jutting off the side of ClouD's base. And I guess at this point, ClouD feels very vulnerable. His first few medevacs are out into the field, but with this push coming from PuMa, can he really hold it off here?
I think he can. Stim is almost finished, and his medevacs are out on the field, or his medevac is out in the field. But he needs to be careful. He doesn't want to stim into just random units. SCVs are being pulled at this point as well. This is a little bit tough. I think he should actually just evacuate here and go and cut the supply. Get a couple of Marines over on this side and just stop any units from actually continuing on. Because you have stim, you know you're going to outrun your opponent, so don't even bother with this. But no, he's going to go for the big push.
A massive stim. PuMa doesn't finish the bunker, but he's got 3 tanks, and ClouD has to get in a great position here in order to take it on. He does flank around, and PuMa doesn't really have the amount of units left. He's got 1 Banshee left. But ClouD actually lost a lot in that engagement as well.
26 SCVs dead, 41 harvesters.
Oh my god, you're right. He sacked an incredible amount of workers really to get that push executed, and I don't know if that was worth it.
It's tough. Now, PuMa, it will be defensive for the rest of this game until, well, I shouldn't say the rest of this game, until Stim and Combat Shields is actually up. That's the key thing, but ClouD needs to do something before Stim and Combat Shields are actually done.
Yeah, and ClouD's going to try to go for a counterattack, realizing PuMa is very vulnerable. He scans, trying to see if he can elevate her in, and PuMa has his tank immediately sieged up in his main as well, sensing something's wrong. And you can see the first Marines are dropping behind the smoke screen. PuMa not paying attention to that side of his base, and he's going to have to defend here as well.
Get the tech labs. Oh, big shot of siege tank fires actually hits all the Marines right there. And wow, PuMa might be able to clean this up seamlessly.
Yeah, another pot shot there. Very well done. The siege tank has served its purpose multiple times over, and ClouD is forced back.
Oh man, ClouD misses a pretty big time. And look at that, Combat Shields was on this one, so he could have taken out Combat Shields and delayed his opponent even more. Again, if you take out this tech lab, it basically says, PuMa, don't do anything until you get your main upgrades. But for now on, I mean, ClouD, he's behind. Income tab shows 49 to 31. That economic boost will give PuMa the advantage. You know, about 2 minutes down the line, you're going to see the income disparity, not the income disparity, the supply disparity just increase more and more. And it's going to be in favor of PuMa.
And ClouD sees this expansion attempt from PuMa to grab his third base, but he's fallen back. at least for buy time for a little bit. Let's take a second and look at what just happened, a critical moment in this game. You can see that immediately the SCVs are leading the pack, which you need to do, and ClouD got a pretty good concave on the front half. But look at the tank positioning, forcing the Marines to go all the way around what I call the Diamond of Doom. And if you can get a great position like that, PuMa was able to really take out a huge chunk of those Marines.
Yeah, let's go back to the live now. We did have nothing really go on, just ClouD massing up in the middle of the map. That is correct for what he is supposed to do. Obviously, these Marines need that mobility, the ability to potentially flank, to do a little bit harass if his opponent is out of position. I like what PuMa is doing as well. He has siege tanks back here, he has Marines back here as well, just waiting for his stim and +1/+1 to finish as well. And look at it, there it is, the winning move. You see it, Frodan? Yeah.
The sensor tower.
The sensor tower.
It's sensor towers are like
map hacks.
Well, that, but it's also like in Nexus Wars when you get the pylons up, and then you just start getting an insane amount of income, and from there you can never lose if you get the pylons.
Exactly, man.
You don't know what I'm talking about. You never played Nexus Wars.
Keep upgrading the pylon.
Oh, you do know. Just kidding. You do.
Yeah, and then when you play 1v1, you only make pylons.
Yeah, and you just could destroy everything.
Yeah, and your opponent makes like a Zergling, like a nub, and you're just like, I'm just going to kill it with my 4 SCVs.
I know.
And get a huge advantage. Actually, I can own you at Nexus Wars, Frodan.
All right, well, we'll
1v1, go.
I'm not that good at Nexus Wars, I'll readily admit that. Oh, PuMa is going to confront these Marines directly and get eliminated. So, but another scan puts ClouD a little bit further behind, just because he's down in workers, and he's had his third orbital command for a lot less duration, so he doesn't have as much energy.
Now you can see the supply disparity right now, as I was saying before. A total of 20 supply, that is pretty substantial. Let's look at the units tab, 52 to 44. 8 tanks to 1. Frodan, oh my goodness.
8 tanks to 1.
8 tanks to 1. That is pretty big. That's, if my math is correct, that is 7 more tanks.
Yes, PuMa has a pretty decisive army advantage at this point. Just in sheer raw confrontation power. And look at that. PuMa sending his 1 Marine, sees the mass attempt to drop. ClouD trying to do a little bit of reverse doom dropping to his opponent. You can see PuMa gaining more and more ground. Tanks are in great position, but PuMa, look at that, getting such a big advantage. GG! PuMa takes center control on Antiga Shipyards, and Ho-Jun Lee moves up in his division to take first place even further. Is that 6-0 now? No, 5-0. PuMa is doing fantastic in it.
That was tough. The Banshee obviously did a lot more damage than it should have. It's because ClouD tried to play a little bit greedier than he should have. Well, I don't know. There's different styles, but definitely against PuMa, I know my opponent has the ability to make Banshees. Go ahead and make those turrets. But, you know, obviously ClouD was looking to play it a little bit riskier and say, well, let's hope that you don't go Banshees. I'm not going to put turrets up. Because of that, he lost 10 workers, and PuMa was able to continue continued attacks. Now, the big trade with the SCVs and Marines actually didn't work out for ClouD. It was basically a ticking time bomb, and if he didn't do a lot of damage against PuMa, he would be in a lot of trouble. Yeah. And that push was the exact thing that PuMa had to do to win the game. It was just, okay, I killed like 24 of your SCVs. You have the tech advantage for me on me for now. Let me get my 1-1, stim, combat shields. Look, we have the same tech. Push. Win. That's it.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the culmination of the event at Antiga Shipyards one last time. And it's kind of interesting because, again, it comes down to the fact that PuMa saw the drop ship and was able to really confront it. And now it picks a perfect time before Marines are able to get into position. PuMa didn't even really need to siege tanks that often. He just used it to really get the Marines out of position. Look at that, setting up the concave immediately. ClouD was in trouble from the start of that battle.
152 supply to 130. The 20 supply makes a big difference. And it is from the siege tanks.
15 of it was of siege tanks, also a lot in workers too.
Yeah, a lot of it was workers.
The army wasn't that far in disparity, but again, ClouD just kept every move he made. It was just like PuMa was there. It was like one of those moments where ClouD is just like trying to like turn away, and PuMa like steps in front of him again. Yeah, and he turns to the right, and PuMa's like there again.
He said, "Every move you take, every step you take." I'll be watching.
Guys, that game and series is brought to you by Kingston HyperX. Thank you so much for the SSD and memories that you guys provide. Don't go anywhere. Our day outro as well as our prediction recap, which I'm really happy about. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our wrap up in just a second.